Howdy, friends. This week in Parable Land, I'm going to be sharing with you a set of parables about being prepared, as it were. They all kind of come from this idea of there's a time for old stuff, a time for new stuff. There's a time to be getting ready, a time to be ready. And the whole idea in a lot of these is that in the parables that Jesus tells, there's a deeper meaning, obviously, to what's actually happening. So here's this first one. This is from the Gospel of Mark in the 13th chapter. It is like a man going on a journey when he leaves his home and puts his slaves in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to be on watch. Therefore keep awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening, or at midnight, or at cockcrow, or at dawn, or else he may find you asleep when he comes suddenly. And what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake. So there's this idea in Christianity, among other things, that the end will come sometime. Sure, maybe, right? The early Christians thought it was imminent. And frankly, Paul spends a lot of his time writing the epistles that it's coming immediately and you need to be ready. Well, that was 2,000 some odd years ago. It's still not come in that same way. This is not to say that there is not an end of something at some point in time, but each one of us will face our own end, as it were. And as you think about this, part of the commentary that Jesus offers is to keep awake, to be ready. So how are you ready, right? If you just say, well, I don't have to worry about this till this happens, what happens? You're never ready. So if you were going to run a marathon, which I have no intention of ever doing in my life, I'm sure I'll prove myself wrong someday because I'll have that midlife crisis and decide I need to start running, but probably not. I only run from predators. But this idea is if you don't prep for your run, I guarantee you're not going to run a marathon. It's just not going to happen. You have to be prepared. And so it requires practice and dedication. Being a Christian is the same way. Not that God's grace and love doesn't function this way, that you could change your mind at the last minute and say, you know what, maybe I was wrong, maybe this is me. I do believe that God will be there for you as well. But you want to be ready for when your end or the end or whatever it comes back, however you see it. If you don't practice being a Christian, if you don't walk the walk and talk the talk, then when push comes to shove, it won't be, right? If you're not prepared, when the time comes to need it, you won't be ready. And there's different levels of this, right? So some people are really convinced that the end times are coming right away. And they look to everything to say, see, this is a sign of the end coming. Well, Christians, among others, have been doing this for countless generations. The Jews did it as well. It's called apocalyptic literature, and it's all throughout the Old Testament. This idea the end is coming. And when you focus on the end is coming, you don't live in the present. But to live in the present and also be prepared, that means that on a daily basis, you live as though the end is coming, or that, the country song says you live like you're dying. However you want to do it, right? You have to do this daily. And so your daily routine then becomes how you become prepared. You practice being a Christian. You practice taking care of people, speaking kindly, making sure that those in need are helped, doing all those things we're called to do as Christians, these outward actions, daily, because you can't cram, as it were. So I encourage you to keep awake. How will you keep awake this week? How will you continue to practice being a Christian in regardless of what setting you are? Because you can't just follow Christ on Sunday mornings. You got to do it every day. Talk to y'all soon.